Was it a no-brainer to do the show? Because it's such a big time commitment.
Oh, I was doing it. I'm like, if they're asking, I'm doing it. And Charli, I think she thought they were joking. Like, I'm like, what? It just makes sense that they would ask. Sometimes she doesn't understand, like, she's like, wait, why did they ask me to do that?
The TikTok controversy in China, and are there security concerns, and should it be banned? What do you think about all that?
I don't think it should be banned. If you're worried about the information that social media apps are taking, you should worry about them all. And if you're not going to worry about them all, you shouldn't worry about any of them.
As an 18-year-old girl who makes videos on the internet, I don't think that that's a decision that I'm educated enough to really understand or have a real opinion on.
Which sister fights the most with mom and dad, or Heidi and Mark?
You.
I have gotten to the point with my parents where I can make jokes with them.
But she doesn't back down when she's in an
Yeah,
argument. She will never apologize.
Oh, that's
No.
not
You'll
never.
Most likely not apologize. And
Dixie will be like,
I'll apologize right away to end the fight. Like, I hate arguing.
Yeah.
I hate confrontation.
Same.
So
I like, when I know I'm right, I will
yeah, I
make
don't
sure that
care.
you know.
Yep.
The D'Amelio family has been out of the headlines for a while. And then this week happened. Money allegations? A father defending himself publicly on TikTok Live, Charli posting a crying photo with a caption that said she was depressed, and a family that once represented TikTok's biggest success story now apparently communicating through lawyers. Let's get into everything. If you need a quick refresher on who the D'Amelios are, Charli D'Amelio blew up on TikTok in 2019 and became the most followed creator on the platform at her peak. The whole family got famous together. Her parents, Mark and Heidi, her sister Dixie. They had a Hulu reality show. They were building in a Kardashian direction. Business ventures, brand deals, the whole infrastructure of a family entertainment empire. Charli managed by her parents through all of it. In more recent years, things shifted. Charli moved to New York and started pursuing Broadway. Dixie focused on her music career. They were still posting, still active, but the family unit felt quieter. And then people started noticing Charli hadn't been seen with her family much. It didn't seem like a big deal at the time. It became a big deal this week. Duma published a report claiming that sources alleged millions of dollars had been transferred out of accounts that were set up during the years Charli's career was managed by her parents. According to those sources, the transfers allegedly happened over an extended period and involved money that was intended to be Charli's savings. The report says Charli allegedly became aware of the situation after her parents were supposed to be removed from certain accounts. The matter is reportedly now in the hands of attorneys, and according to the same sources, the dispute has caused a serious rift within the family, with Dixie reportedly siding with their parents over Charli. Duma was clear that all allegations remain unverified. Mark D'Amelio did not stay quiet. He commented under the Duma post and said this was not true, that no one had called him for an interview before publishing, that he and the family love Charli but that she's being manipulated, and that he has receipts. He said that over 6 years the family had remained silent about gossip, but that the time had come to set the record straight. When someone in the comments replied, asking directly whether they stole from Charli, Mark said absolutely not, that Charli had always had a full team in place, including lawyers, a business manager, a manager, and an agent, and that the setup was intentional. He also mentioned that his family was doing fine financially before TikTok, pushing back on the idea that they were ever dependent on Charli's income. Shortly after the Duma report started circulating, Charli posted a video on YouTube and promoted it on TikTok with a photo of herself crying. Her caption said she'd be back dancing soon and that she was depressed and wanted to be left alone. She didn't directly address the financial allegations in that post, but the timing of it alongside the Duma report made it impossible to read in isolation. Mark went on TikTok Live to go deeper. He was emotional throughout the stream. He kept coming back to the same points, that he gave his daughters everything, that he was being made into a scapegoat, that the people currently surrounding Charli had spent time convincing her that her father was mismanaging her career, and that he believes those same people don't actually have her best interests at heart. He said he now communicates with Charli through her lawyer. He said he hadn't heard from her directly in some time, and he said he wants his daughter back. The specific thing Mark says lit the fuse was D'Amelio Brands, the family business he created with the intention of building long-term wealth for his daughters beyond brand deals and short-form content. His argument is that he looked at the volatility of TikTok income and wanted to set his kid up with something more durable. He says that once Charli's outside team started getting more access, they began telling her that putting money into D'Amelio Brands wasn't a smart move, that her father was essentially throwing away her earnings through that business. Mark's position is that his intentions were completely legitimate, that building a sustainable business was always the goal, and that the people who came in and reframed his decisions as mismanagement did so to gain more control over Charli and her money. He also raised a specific and fairly unusual accusation. He said a finance person named Gary Rosenthal, who had worked as part of the family's team, forwarded Mark's private GoDaddy account passwords to Charli's new business manager on his last day working for the family. Mark described discovering this by noticing the email activity. He could see what had been sent. He sent a note to the relevant parties asking why his private passwords and domain information were being forwarded to someone who was going to work exclusively with Charli. He didn't allege specific wrongdoing in the clip, but he made clear he thought this was suspicious behavior and that it represented the kind of thing that had been happening around his family without his knowledge. He also said that the shift started gradually. He described a moment where Charli's team suggested having a financial meeting without her parents in the room, framing it as appropriate, given that she was 18 or 19 at the time and an adult. Mark said he agreed to it, thinking it was reasonable. He now believes that was one of the early moments where outside advisors started building a narrative around him that eventually contributed to Charli pulling away from the family. He maintained throughout the live that he has documentation of everything. Receipts for what every person was paid, what money moved where, and what decisions were made. He said he considered posting them publicly, but was advised by people in the comments to keep that private for now. He did not release anything documented during the live. Here's what's actually confirmed in all of this right now. Charli is not publicly speaking to her parents. That part is clear based on Mark's own statements and the report. Attorneys are reportedly involved on both sides. Dixie appears to be aligned with her parents, though Charli and Dixie reportedly still have some communication. Mark denies any financial misconduct and says his intentions were always to build something lasting for his daughters. Charli has not issued any direct public statement about the financial allegations. Her only public move this week was the emotional TikTok and YouTube post. D'Amelio Brands exists and was funded in part by family revenue, which is apparently one of the central points of dispute. What's unconfirmed is everything else, whether money was actually misappropriated, whether D'Amelio Brands was a legitimate business venture or a convenient place to redirect funds, whether Charli's team's concerns are valid, or whether, as Mark claims, they're a team that built its access partly by creating distrust between Charli and her parents. None of that has been substantiated by anything beyond claims from one side. This is a story that has a shape a lot of people have seen before. Young person gets very famous very young. Family is brought into the business because that's what happens when there's no prior infrastructure. Career takes off faster than anyone planned for. Eventually, professional advisors gain more access. The dynamic between the parent as manager and the artist as adult client starts to create friction. That friction gets amplified by financial disputes, whether real or perceived. And then things break publicly in ways that are painful for everyone, including the audience that watched the person grow up. Whether Charli's concerns are valid or whether her father's version is accurate is not something anyone on the outside can determine right now. What is clear is that a young woman is visibly hurting, a father is publicly distressed, a family that was very close in the public eye is now fragmented, and the legal process is apparently already in motion. How this gets resolved, if it does, is going to depend on what the attorneys and accountants find when they go through the actual records. Mark says he has receipts. Charli's team presumably believes they have a case. The truth is somewhere in those documents, and right now neither side has put them in front of the public. Drop a comment, who do you believe in this situation? And do you think this is something the D'Amelio family can come back from?